This was the first time we saw Paige really get guarded. This is where we saw what is going to happen in year 2. This is the scout report that needs to be out there on Paige Bueckers once the Dallas Wings get good, because Dallas Wings are going to get good at some stage in her career. This was the game where I'm like, okay, we can shut up that.
All right, hold up. This is absolutely insane. The curtain has been pulled back, the performance is over, and that manufactured prophecy, it just crumbled spectacularly. The WNBA's frantic effort to create another Caitlin Clark just exploded in spectacular fashion on primetime television. Paige Bueckers, the press's golden child, the supposed successor to Clark's legacy, the one marketed as women's basketball's messiah, just received a harsh wake-up call courtesy of the Seattle Storm. And make no mistake, this wasn't merely a slip-up. This was a complete dismantling, a stark reminder that all the buzz in the world evaporates when it meets the unforgiving reality of elite-level defense.
The elevation of one Paige Bueckers. Oh, she's better than Caitlin Clark. I mean, stab me in the eye with a spoon, for Christ's sakes. Wow. So that's a thing right now. Last night, Paige Bueckers dropped 44 points. And we're going to look at a video that just dissects and exposes a lot of that shit. Let me tell you. It exposes a lot of stuff involving Paige Bueckers getting special treatment on the court.
Drop your thoughts in the comments. Are you buying into the Paige Bueckers phenomenon? Before we dive in, please consider subscribing this channel. It motivates me to work hard and serve you better. Already did? Thanks. Let's dive in. For countless months, we've been force-fed this storyline like it was gospel truth straight from the league's publicity department. Paige Bueckers was dubbed the Anointed One, the destined successor ready to walk in Clark's footsteps and somehow eclipse her achievements.
It's a little bit different out here when you get Caitlin Clark treatment. It ain't so easy peasy getting to play one-on-one, getting to just do your thing how you want to do it, when you want to do it.
The sports media couldn't resist the narrative, relentlessly promoting the notion that Paige was revolutionizing the game at a pace that left Clark in the dust. They built her up with non-stop coverage, crafting her image as the complete package. Composed, intelligent, flawless in execution. Think back to when Paige's former coach Gino Auriemma made those comments about Caitlin Clark. That moment established the framework for how everyone would approach.
And Diana said it best. This kid's in for a rude awakening. And they all jumped over her, but they didn't read the whole thing that she said. But nobody's printing. You know, Diana Taurasi was right. This kid's on the wrong team. She's got the wrong skill set to handle the physicality of that league. And she's a rookie. And if you're a WNBA player, if you're any kind of player, you're going to say, I'm going to make a statement.
Or should I say underestimate and dismiss Clark right from the beginning. Paige claimed the record for fastest player to reach 200 points and 50 assists, beating Clark's timeline by just one game. That small detail sent commentators into a frenzy, raving about her polish and readiness compared to Caitlin's early struggles. The publicity machine was running at full throttle, with ESPN eagerly selling premium seats on the Hype Express. But here's the reality about manufactured excitement. It only lasts until the truth comes knocking.
Diva of Dump Divas Kat Engelbert is breathing a sigh of relief. Her pretend friends in the mainstream media, they are trying to crown a new star. If the media has it their way, this could potentially be the new face of pretend basketball. And it's not just the woke media. There are even some in conservative media who are voluntarily biting into the shit sandwich. Headline at Outkick. No, Caitlin, no problem. Paige Bueckers can save the WNBA season.
And the truth showed up wearing a Seattle Storm uniform. Coming off her overblown masterpiece, that 44-point explosion against the Sparks, Paige walked into Seattle acting like she was still basking in her crowning glory. The issue? The Storm weren't laying out welcome mats. Instead, they brought pressure, challenges, and raw physicality. What unfolded wasn't a celebration. It was complete destruction.
She went off in a game against the Los Angeles Sparks, scoring 44 points, but the craziest part about that was her shooting percentage. She shot over 80% from the field, and I tweeted about that, and I was like, that's That's actually insane. Give props where they are due. Shooting over 80%, scoring 44 points is actually insane. But with this game, like Paige Bueckers she put on a masterclass in scoring. And I think with that, these are some big numbers.
Paige managed just 11 points, not 11 and 1/2, not 11 in the opening period. A measly 11 for the full 40 minutes on an absolutely dreadful 2 of 11 shooting performance with 0 assists and only 2 rebounds. That stat sheet looked less like a future icon and more like someone who got completely lost out there. Seattle's coach Noel Quinn even predicted it before the opening tip. Time to see if this rising star can handle the Caitlin Clark experience.
For the game, you said it's going to be important to be physical with like Paige Bueckers. Can you talk about the defensive game plan for Dallas and like how your team was able to hold them to their fewest points of the season?
Yeah, it started, with our attention to detail with Paige. I thought, Slim was very physical, stayed in her space, and the actions that we guarded her in, we were very aggressive, showed multiple bodies, and kind of, made her hesitant to use the ball screen a little bit. I thought we rotated well.
Spoiler alert, she absolutely couldn't. She completely crumbled. Here's where this story becomes truly captivating. While Paige was wilting under just one evening of legitimate defensive intensity, Caitlin Clark has been navigating that hurricane for over a full season. She's the player who didn't just disrupt the league, she completely transformed it. And what has she received in exchange?
Paige Bueckers got Caitlin Clark treatment for the first time in her career, and it looked bad. It looked real bad. Everybody was running around. Yeah, she was cooking 44 points versus the Sparks. They didn't play a lick of defense, letting this girl play one-on-one basketball in every area of the floor, letting her post up in the mid-range area one-on-one. Now, I'm giving credit. She's a bucket in one-on-one, especially from that mid-range, from the free throw line down area. But this is the first time we watch teams actively be persistent about taking away her spots and what she wants to do.
Treatment that would make professional football defenders take notice. The evidence is damning. 17% of all flagrant fouls during the 2024 WNBA season were directed at Caitlin Clark alone. That's not basketball, that's systematic targeting. Take the Chicago Sky, who turned roughing up Clark into their personal mission. They were responsible for 80% of those flagrant fouls. Meanwhile, Paige was gliding through games getting treated like she was still in a casual college practice. The moment she encountered Clark-level intensity, she completely fell apart. Her shooting disappeared, her efficiency vanished, and her game looked absolutely empty.
She got blitzed. She got doubled. And do you want to know what she did as soon as she got blitzed and doubles? She passed. Paige Bueckers, look, she played decent amount early in the game. The game was kind of over and she got subbed out. Paige Bueckers shot 7 times.
Seattle's defense approached her like the superstar she was hyped to be and revealed her as anything but that. The media had been showcasing her shooting statistics like they were sacred text. Paige's smooth 47.4% field goal percentage was constantly celebrated, always compared to Clark's rookie 41.7%. They marketed it as concrete evidence that Paige was more refined. But here's what they conveniently ignored. Clark was attempting the most difficult shots in the league while absorbing contact that referees barely acknowledged. Paige's impressive statistics came against passive defense and uncontested opportunities. The moment she faced star-level defensive attention, those numbers imploded immediately. 2 successful shots out of 11 attempts. That's not efficiency. That's an illusion crumbling under pressure. Meanwhile, Clark continues to demolish defenses specifically designed to neutralize her. She launches contested 3-pointers from 28 feet out, drives through contact, brushes off physical play, and still creates highlight moments that pack arenas.
Paige Bueckers, let me ask you this. How did it feel to be blitzed and played 94 feet before you even get a chance to bring the ball up court like your name was Caitlin Clark, aka my precious Cece? You didn't like that, huh? You hear me? You out there was looking like you was about to cry. Yeah, so what do your fans have to say now? Excuse me, where are you Paige Bueckers fans at? That's y'all MVP and face of the league, right? She's boring. She's not good enough. She gets special treatment. But understand, she kept getting blitz after blitz after blitz.
Her mental toughness makes Paige's struggles appear even more pronounced. Clark has demonstrated she can absorb punishment and still perform at an otherworldly level. Paige got one sample of that pressure and completely vanished. Let's be brutally honest about what we witnessed. Paige Bueckers experienced just one game of the Caitlin Clark treatment, and she completely collapsed. The media's next Caitlin Clark transformed into the next bench warmer. This is the same Paige that analysts insisted was superior in every aspect. More composed, more fundamentally sound, more efficient. Yet when the spotlight intensified and the defense turned physical, she looked completely lost. That's the distinction between manufactured hype and genuine greatness. Caitlin Clark has been creating history from day one. Paige Bueckers? She's just another player who couldn't bear the weight of Clark's enormous shadow. When Seattle exposed her weaknesses, they didn't just deliver a poor performance, they tore down an illusion the WNBA and ESPN have been desperately trying to sell since Clark's arrival changed everything. Once fans witnessed the reality, the deception crumbled. Let's examine the raw numbers since that's what the media has used to market Paige as the next phenomenon. Caitlin Clark's rookie campaign, 19 points, 8.4 assists, and 5.7 rebounds per game. All while being targeted, bumped, and fouled more aggressively than anyone else in the league. Paige Bueckers' rookie statistics, 19.7 points, 5.3 assists, and 4.1 rebounds. On the surface, she slightly outscores Clark, and that's precisely what ESPN's hype machine emphasized. She's already surpassing Caitlin, but statistics mean nothing without context. Clark's production came while serving as the primary focus of every defensive strategy in the league. She absorbed flagrant fouls at double the rate of any other player. Teams literally instructed defenders to get physical with her as their primary game plan, and she still delivered consistently. Bueckers? She floated through games with gentle treatment. Defenders provided space, rotated slowly, and allowed her to accumulate efficiency numbers that appeared impressive on paper but crumble the moment anyone applies real pressure. When Seattle decided to change their approach and defend her like Clark, it was like watching delicate crystal thrown into a demolition site. 2 field goals on 11 attempts, 0 assists, and just 2 rebounds. That's not efficiency, that's complete exposure. Naturally, Paige's supporters immediately offered explanations. She's still recovering from her ACL injury, she's working through rust, she's finding her rhythm. Nice attempt, especially considering that injury happened years ago. Clark never received such accommodations. She entered the WNBA as target number 1, the player everyone wanted to challenge, foul, and physically intimidate. No gentle introductions, no easy matchups, no adjustment period, just immediate intensity. And she flourished in that environment. Paige was given a red carpet treatment. The moment someone removed those privileges, she stumbled over her own publicity. That's not championship DNA, that's media fabrication falling apart. The Dallas Wings selected Paige first overall, provided every opportunity, and still finished 9-28, completely out of playoff contention. So much for the league's savior. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark elevated the Indiana Fever from basement dwellers to playoff competitors in one season. She didn't just elevate her team, she elevated the entire league. Record attendance? That's Clark's influence. National television contracts? Clark's doing. Merchandise sales exploding? Clark again. Paige couldn't prevent her team from sliding into irrelevance during her debut season. And this is supposedly the next Caitlin Clark? Please. One is a generational talent who literally revolutionized women's basketball. The other is a decent player who received unearned headlines. This is exactly what fans are tired of seeing. Here's the fundamental issue. The league keeps attempting to force-feed rivalries that simply don't exist. They believe they can replicate Clark's impact by elevating anyone with decent statistics and shooting ability. But here's the truth. Caitlin Clark isn't just another athlete, she's Tiger Woods, she's Serena Williams. She's LeBron James. She transcends her sport. You cannot manufacture that kind of impact. It occurs once in a generation, perhaps once in a lifetime. Paige Bueckers is not that player. She never was, and pretending otherwise not only disrespects Clark, but insults fans who recognize the difference. You cannot fabricate greatness. You either possess it or you don't, and Caitlin Clark has it in abundance. The Storm didn't just defeat Paige, they revealed the truth. They demonstrated to the WNBA and ESPN that no amount of polished highlight packages or efficiency statistics can mask a player who isn't prepared to represent the sport. They exposed the deception, and now that narrative lies in ruins. The mask has fallen, the performance has ended, and the manufactured prophecy, it just became another cautionary tale about the difference between genuine greatness and media-manufactured hype.